Right, hello folks, and welcome back to our mechanism series. Today we're going to be looking at what's called a Scotch yoke, and it's something that transfers rotary motion into linear or reciprocating motion, as shown in the animation on the screen. This is used for things like pumps or pistons or cylinders to get that back and forth motion. Okay, we're going to spend the first video going through how to make all the parts for this, and the second video showing how to mate and constrain them all together. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and jump into a new part studio, the first thing we're going to do is on the front plane around the origin, we're going to draw two circles. The first one is going to have a diameter of 80 mil, 80, and the second one from the origin again, it's going to have a diameter of 10. Once you've done that, you're just going to extrude that by 10 mil, so you get that hole in the middle. Okay, now on the new surface, this new front surface that we've got, I'm going to make a new circle directly above the origin. And you should get that dotted line to snap it to. This is also going to have a diameter of 10 mil, and I'm going to make sure that it is 35 mil. The center of that circle is 35 mil away from the origin, and that should place it right on the edge of my circle. And I'm then going to extrude that. I'm going to be a bit overcautious because I'm not exactly sure how long I want this to be. I can trim it down later, but I'm just going to pull that tab out like that. So I've got the thing that's going to clip and the thing that's going to cause the piston to move back and forth. Okay, that's the first part done. The second part is going to be the base, and it's a little bit more complex. What you're going to do to start with is, and again, it doesn't really matter where I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it on my front plane. I'm going to sketch a sort of U shape. So I'm going to, or a staple shape. I'm going to go down, across, and up. And when I come up, I'm just going to trace across there, so I know that those two edges are connected. They're always going to snap. And then I'm going to come down, a bit like bubble writing, and I'm just going to join that up like that. And now I'm going to do a few things with these dimensions. I'm going to make sure that the thickness is uniform of 3 mil all the way around. That's because one of the more common materials we work with is 3mm sheet steel. I'm going to make the height 80, and I'm going to make the length 126. If I am pausing, it's because I am just working off a drawing that I've done. I've not committed this to memory yet, and the amount of times I've had to restart because I've lost my place, you won't believe it. Right, okay, once you've done that, you're going to extrude that by 20 mil. And now we just need to do two more things. If this first part we did is in the way, I'm just going to go down here to part one. I'm just going to hide it to make it easier and a bit cleaner for us. And then I'm going to sketch a on the left face of this. I'm going to sketch a rectangle. So I'm going to do it in the top right corner. So I'm going to go and sketch corner rectangle, and this is going to have a width of 3 mil and a height of 12 mil. And that is going to be 5 mil away from the right hand edge. And it's going to be 55, I think, yep. So the bottom of this rectangle, this slot, is going to be 55 mil away from the bottom edge of the bracket that we've just made. And once you've done that, all you're going to do is click Extrude, Remove, and you're just going to pull it through. So we get that rectangle cutting through or clipping through both those pillars. Right, okay. Next, I'm going to do the back bracket. So there's a couple of ways I can do this. The one I'm going to choose is, I think, I'm going to draw a rectangle on this top surface here. And now the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to grab a center rectangle from the rectangle drop down. I'm going to just trace across till I see the square that indicates the midpoint. There we go. I'm going to draw a rectangle that is going to be 10 mil in length, 6 mil across. Oh, what I'm going to do then, I'm just going to draw a line through the middle of that rectangle and trim this area off. So there's a few ways to do that. I find that the most simple because you get it automatically centralized. And once I've done that, I'm just going to extrude that by 57. So I want the top of this surface to be exactly 60mm away from the base, the very bottom of it, but because we've got that 3mm thickness, we start with a 3mm advantage. So I'm going to extrude that by 57, and I'm just going to fill it off those top corners by 5mm. So 1, 2, it should default to 5mm unless you've had a previously differently selected radius, but that is about what I want. And all I'm going to do now, I'm hoping I can do a sketch and I can do my, there we go. If I click the circle tool on this sketch, I should be able to select the center of that circle automatically. I'm just going to go across to the end with a radius of 10, and I'm going to extrude that by 10. This could get a little bit messy later if we just messed up the dimensions, but we'll correct that if we come to it. I think this should work. I think this should be okay. Okay, and the final piece we're going to do is the actual slider. So I can bring this piece back in now. The slider is the part which is actually going to be moving from side to side, and we can do this in a dead easy way. So I'm going to draw a quarter of it, and then I'm going to mirror it once and then mirror it a second time. So what you're going to want to do is just going to do it over here somewhere. It doesn't matter if you're anywhere near the other parts. I'm going to draw a line across, a line down, a longer line across, and a line down. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to join that up like a bubble L. Okay, and I'm going to add some dimensions here. So this top dimension is going to be 15. This dimension here is going to be 45, so the first line down. If it clips like that, you might want to undo it and just put this end dimension in first, which is going to be 5. And once you've got that, and you should be able to put your 45 in without much problem. It just shifts the other part up. And the only other dimension we've got to consider is this one, which we're going to set to 85. So the seat of this L shape. Okay. And the last thing we're going to do, we're just going to draw from the origin, or from this point here, we're going to draw a rectangle up, and that rectangle is going to be 5mm wide, and it's going to be 40mm tall. And once I've done that, I'm just going to get my trim tool, the scissors. I'm just going to trim off these edges. So you should have something that looks like that. What I'm going to do now, grab my mirror tool. I'm going to select this edge here, so the very bottom of the shape I've made. And once I've clicked on that, it should go yellow. I can click and drag around everything else, and it's going to mirror that below. I'm just going to deselect the mirror and reselect it, and now select this as my mirror line. So I'm going to click on this, and again, it should go yellow, and just select everything I've just done. And I've got the shape. The only thing to do is just trim these middle lines away, and that is what I want, almost what I want. The only thing left to do is put some radiuses, some sketch fillets on there and there, a 5mm, and there and there. When you see the green tick on the mouse, on the cursor mouse, just click away from anything, and you're going to extrude that whole thing by 3mm, and you should find that leaves the gap in the middle. Okay, so we've got all 3 parts. I'll see you in the next video where we're going to put this all together, and we should produce something that moves like a Scotch Yoke mechanism in the animation.